Good morning, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for being a part of this year's Highlights of Hope event in support of New Hope. My name is Lauren Patisi. I'm honored and excited to be your MC this morning. I'm a radio personality in Boston, and I also run my own voiceover and public speaking coaching company called radiolauren.com. I became affiliated with New Hope through my husband. His name is Matt, and he serves on the board of directors. And as you know, it's a wonderful organization doing important work in our community. We may be holding Highlights of Hope in an unconventional way this year due to the pandemic, but we want our community to know that New Hope continues to be here for those in need. So this morning, we're going to be celebrating New Hope's accomplishments over the past year, the challenges and the opportunities we've faced with COVID-19, recognize community and business partners who have been integral to our work this past year, and hear a story from a mother of a young woman who lost her life due to domestic violence. Today, you'll hear how we can all come together to help create a safe and healthy environment for our survivors that is free from violence and exploitation. In recognition of how difficult this work is, we'll begin our event today with a mindful meditation exercise led by Vice President of Clinical Services of New Hope, Elaine Filion-Kraus.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Elaine Filion-Kraus, Vice President of Clinical Services at New Hope. And here at New Hope, we've begun an initiative where we've added mindfulness practices to all of our meetings and hopefully to our daily practice. And mindfulness is a practice where we bring ourselves into the present moment, non-judgmentally, and just be here now. Research has shown that mindfulness is a great healing tool for both our staff and our clients. So if you'd like, I invite you this morning to join me in a good morning mindfulness practice, where we can use this time to come to the present moment and maybe wake up a little bit more. Maybe the coffee hasn't kicked in yet, so I'm hoping that this can be helpful. So I invite you to bring your attention to your feet and just wiggle those toes and just notice maybe your ankles and rotate those from side to side. Nice. And as you're doing that, just coming gently to your breath, I invite you to keep your eyes open, or if you'd like, you can close them and just really come inside as we breathe and practice this morning. So breathing in and breathing out. And as you breathe in, as you continue to breathe in and out, notice your chest rising and falling, rising on the in-breath and falling on the out-breath. And just feel that, just using your breath as a way to wake yourself up, to bring in some oxygen, and exchange the oxygen from your lower lobes of your lungs that have been kind of hanging out there for the night. So breathing in and out. Wonderful. And I'm going to ask, if you'd like, if you can dangle your hands beside you and just shake out your hands and your fingers and rotate your wrists back and forth and around in circles. Again, this is just a morning wake-up practice. If you'd like to join, you can just, as you breathe in, take your arms up overhead on the inhale and out on the exhale. And again, one more time, in and out. Waking up more parts of your body, just bringing yourself to now, to this moment in time, as we go through this program of Highlights for Hope at New Hope, and we get to witness all of the partners that we have in our community, all the support that we've gotten through the year, and the amazing work that we've done at New Hope, even through this pandemic. So thank you for being here. And now I turn it over back to Lauren.
Thank you so much, Elaine. I am a big fan of meditation, so I thought that was a great start to the day. Thank you. Now, please join me in welcoming New Hope's board president, Atiya Chaudhry. Atiya has been a longtime supporter, and just last month, she happily accepted the role of board president. Welcome, Atiya.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome, welcome, welcome. On behalf of the Board of Directors, staff, and survivors of sexual and domestic violence, I want to welcome you to this virtual breakfast. I will begin with acknowledging all the legislators who are in attendance. We have Representative Jim Hawkins, Senator Michael Moore, Senator Paul Feeney, Taunton Mayor Shauna O'Connell, Representative Betty Poirier, Senator Becca Ruff, Mansfield Police Department Chief Ron Sella. Thank you so much for taking time from your busy schedule today to join us for our Highlights of Hope function. It means a lot to us. I would also like to acknowledge the sponsors of this event: Bristol County Savings Bank, Vantage Builders, Bay State Colony Group, Rotary Club of Mansfield, Cryan Landscape Contractors, Law Office of Michael Kaplan, R.S. Gilmore Insurance, Savers Bank, Anino and Associates, Attleborough Firefighters, Local 848. Once again, thank you for your sponsorship. I hope going forward we can rely on you, and you will always be there for give us your support. As you all know, 2020 has been a particularly challenging year with COVID-19 and the impact on survivors, especially survivors of color. Imagine that due to the pandemic, you're both spending all day, every day with your significant other. Imagine that this person verbally, emotionally, and yes, physically abuses you. Imagine that you have no alone time. Imagine that this person monitors your phone calls, texts, emails, and imagine you're on constant edge that anything may set this person off. This is the reality that many survivors faced with the onset of the virus. At New Hope, when COVID emerged, we initially witnessed a decrease in calls for support. But as the state slowly opened up, we realized a surge in demand that has stretched our capacity. And through this all, New Hope staff remarkably was able to mobilize and find a way to continue to be able to be there for the survivors. The 24/7 hotline continued to operate. New Hope set up a web chat function, initiating another way for survivors to reach out. Staff quickly pivoted to HIPAA-compliant video function to provide online individual and group counseling and advocacy. Shelter guests were moved to a hotel to better isolate, as congregate living can be a vector for spreading the virus. And our community partners reached out to provide much needed funding, for which we are incredibly grateful. During the first 3 months of the pandemic, April to June, we provided $70,712 in assistance to families, 534 families. This included food, diapers and baby wipes, gift cards, cleaning supplies, assistance with rent, utility bills, car repair bills, cell phones, laundry expenses, and hotel expenses. This doesn't include money spent on PPE equipment for our offices and extra hours and hazard pay for employees, such as our shelter staff who were on the front lines. In the first quarter of our new fiscal year, hotline calls are 45% higher than the same period a year ago. Over the summer, we had a wait list for services, which we have now eliminated. We currently have 8 groups running, including a new LGBTQ2 youth group and a Spanish-speaking group. And the good news is that survivors are engaging. Our no-show rate is as low as it has ever been. So why do I tell you all this? Because now more than ever, we need your support. Later in the program, you will hear about a family directly impacted by partner violence. Recognize that this is one family out of far too many. Last year, New Hope supported over 5,000 such families. In behalf of those families and the many who have yet to reach out, please join us. You can make a difference in the lives of survivors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Atiya, for sharing New Hope's accomplishments over the past year and the impact COVID-19 has had on the organization as a whole. The staff at New Hope has been busier than ever with the increase in demand and services and supports needed due to COVID-19. We're inspired by the work they do every single day to make an impact in the lives of survivors. Speaking of survivors, I now have the pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Cindy Perla. In 2018, Cindy's daughter, Madeline Rose Burgess, became a homicide victim to domestic violence. As a result of her loss, Cindy founded the Madeline Rose Memorial Foundation to raise awareness, honor victims, and bring hope to survivors of domestic violence. We're honored to have her tell her story and share why awareness is so important. Welcome, Cindy.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Lauren, and thank you all for being here with us this morning. I am extremely honored to be able to share my daughter's story with you today. And I think you'll understand why I am so very passionate about New Hope and all of the services that they provide to the community. First, I want to tell you a little bit about my daughter, Madeline Rose. She was a sweet, beautiful, and vibrant young woman. She was tiny, petite, weighing probably no more than 100 pounds soaking wet. She had the most beautiful, long, curly, flowing red hair and the biggest bright blue eyes I'd ever seen. She was the caregiver type, very loving, very maternal, always concerned about other people and how they were doing. She was incredibly smart, loved to read. Her favorite author was Ayn Rand. Madeline was a little bit of a feminist, and she believed wholeheartedly in the equal rights of women in all ways, and always rooted for what can sometimes be considered the underdog in our community. She loved the little things, like the smell of rain, a warm summer day, a walk along the water. She loved nature. Brown-eyed Susans were her favorite flower. She loved the beach, she loved her friends, and she loved her family. But on August 9th, 2018, my beautiful daughter, my sweet little baby girl, was tragically taken from us. She fell victim to her abuser one last time. I say one last time because we knew that there was abuse going on. Madeline had shared with us that her boyfriend had quite a temper and that he had even hit her before. At one time, there was a restraining order in place, lots of moving back and forth in and out of the condominium that they shared together. But no matter how many times I tried to beg her to leave and come home, she returned. She loved this man and she wanted things to work. I didn't know how to help her. The only resource for domestic violence that I knew about at the time was an hour away, and she had no way to get there. This man had taken away her driver's license, taken away her finances, tracked her on her phone, and kept track of who she talked to and where she went every day. So leaving to get help was next to impossible, we thought. I didn't know anything about safety plans, police advocates, or even that there were emergency shelter funds available for her. And I certainly didn't know that something this extreme was ever going to happen. The man that she had loved so much ended up killing her. He bludgeoned her to death, crushing her skull beyond recognition. Through it all, I still find reasons to thank God every day. Looking back, there are so many blessings that He provided leading up to and even after my daughter was taken from us. I thank the Lord every single day for the one person that called in to report an erratic driver driving along the interstate in the state of Maine. How easy would it have been for that person to throw up a gesture and say a few unkind words and just keep going about their day? But because they cared enough about the safety of others, they picked up their phone and they reported a driver that was unsafe on the road. Despite the tragedy that occurred, there was still a small blessing for my family. And that one phone call changed the trajectory of anguish and grief for myself and my family. And I am forever eternally grateful to that one person. That erratic driver that was called on was my daughter's boyfriend. And when the police department pulled him over hours away from their home in the middle of Maine, he stepped from his vehicle and took his own life. My daughter's body was found in his trunk, a bag over her head, and her lifeless body wrapped in a throw rug. We can only assume that his intention was to dispose of her body somewhere off the Maine coastline where we would never find her. So, in despite of the tragedy that took place, there was a little glimmer of hope and a blessing that I won't have to spend the rest of my life in agony, never knowing where my daughter is. I know where she is, and I know that one day I will be with her again. Since my daughter's death, I've committed myself to learning all that I can about domestic violence. There are so many things that I wish I knew as a parent, so many things that I had wished that I had talked to my children about. I had no idea that I needed to. It's not something that most families typically talk about in everyday conversation. As a mother and a nurse, I was quite comfortable talking to my children about birth control, sexuality, even substance abuse. But domestic violence never came up in our conversation. I don't really know why. Perhaps I assumed that my children would learn what not to do by watching me go through my own unhealthy relationships. See, I didn't know that my own unhealthy relationships put my children at an increased risk of being victims themselves when they were older. I didn't know that on an average, victims try to leave their abusers 7 times. Madeline was on attempt number 5. I didn't know that the most dangerous time to leave an abusive relationship, the most dangerous time was when you try to leave an abusive relationship. And I believe that Madeline told her boyfriend that evening that she planned on leaving, and he became enraged. These types of conversations are part of what New Hope brings to the community, to educate our youth and our community agencies so that we can start having these conversations on a regular basis. Education is really the key to changing the number of abuse victims in our communities. And that is why I am so passionate about New Hope and the services that they provide. So many things I didn't know and so many conversations I didn't have. In today's culture, it is more important than ever. If you listen to the music that's popular today, many of the lyrics are so objectifying and sexualizing of women. Music videos that our youth are watching are not good examples of what relationships, healthy relationships, should be. It's prevalent in movies and the TV shows that we watch. Violence in the media is pervasive. In addition to the 24-hour hotline that New Hope offers, the 24-hour emergency shelter and housing stabilization services, New Hope offers safe plan advocates at district courts to help with restraining orders and harassment orders. There are civilian police advocates in several local police stations that are trained to help with crisis intervention, safety planning, and assistance with the criminal justice system. New Hope offers supervised visitation and counseling with victims, their friends, their family members, and children that are affected by domestic violence. New Hope offers trained medical advocacy for sexual assault victims. And the Respect program works with perpetrators to address the current and future core belief systems that abusers have to try to change the trajectory of their current or future relationships. And my absolute favorite program within New Hope of all, New Hope's stellar education and outreach programs. They bring these and more important conversations to the community, to organizations, to workplaces, into our schools, and to our youth. I am so grateful for the love and support that I've received from everyone at New Hope, both after the death of my daughter and in creating a foundation in her memory. I have developed several very, very special friends and consider New Hope to be my extended family. Let me tell you how dedicated and selfless the staff at New Hope are. There have been many occasions when, on their free time, outside of work hours, staff from New Hope has joined me at a fundraiser to support me, met me out in the community to accept donated items, and have driven hours to stand beside me at our annual candlelight vigil in memory of my daughter and all victims of domestic homicide in the state of Massachusetts. This organization is not your ordinary agency. This is a family. This is a group of dedicated, selfless, passionate workers who care deeply about the people in the community that they serve. From this parent's perspective, I can't think of a more important organization to support. The life-changing, life-saving services that they provide each day are invaluable. New Hope, please keep doing what you're doing. You do it so well. When God puts love and compassion in your heart towards someone, He's offering you an opportunity to make a difference in that person's life. You must learn to follow that love. Don't ignore it. Act on it. somebody needs what you have. Thank you for listening to my story. I wish you well, and God bless. Thank you.
Cindy, thank you for sharing your moving story. That takes a lot of courage and strength, and sure is an inspiration for all of us to continue raising awareness surrounding domestic violence. Thank you so much. Speaking of raising awareness, I'd like to take a moment to share with you some alarming statistics. 1 in every 3 women and 1 in every 4 men have experienced sexual violence, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men aged 18 or older have been the victim of severe physical violence by an intimate partner in their lifetime. And 14% of women and 4% of men have been injured as a result of intimate partner violence that includes sexual violence, physical violence, or stalking. This is why the work that New Hope provides the community is critical, and we all have an important role in creating communities free from violence and exploitation. Many of you with us today have played a key role in this work, and for that we are so grateful. Now, to honor those who have been exceptional partners, dedicated to New Hope's mission, we welcome back our board president, Atiya Chaudhry, along with an incredible woman who's been doing this rewarding work for 25 years, all while providing outstanding leadership for the organization. Please welcome our president and CEO of New Hope, Marcia Zamansky.
Hello and welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. I just want to first say a huge thank you to Cindy. Cindy, that story was amazing and you just inspire us so much. Thank you. It's just, my heart goes out to you and your family, and know that we are always here for you. So I now have the pleasure of presenting some awards to people who have also been here for us in amazing ways over many, many years. And I want to start this by first presenting the Volunteer of the Year, which is Personal Best Karate. So many of you may know Personal Best Karate. They've been known for their community support over many years, and New Hope's been fortunate to partner with them over many years. So one of the things they've done is offer self-defense training for staff and for survivors that that New Hope has worked with. And they've also become synonymous with Thanksgiving during their wonderful Turkey Brigade. And over the years, they have provided every year for more years than I can count, more years than I've been with New Hope, 35 to 40 dinners, Thanksgiving dinners with all the fixings to survivors of domestic and sexual violence. So this year, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, we want to send out our congratulations to Personal Best for their work with New Hope, for their support of survivors. Unfortunately, Chris Rappaport, which many of you know, is not able to be with us today, but we are acknowledging the wonderful work that Personal Best has done for us over all these years. So thank you to Personal Best and to Chris. Really appreciate it. So our next...
Go ahead, Marcia, if you want to.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead, Atiya.
Okay, our next award is going to community partner, the Trinity Catholic Academy. Thank you very much. Trinity Catholic is a private school that serves students in grades 8K to 8 in the greater Southbridge area. Principal Sedar was so gracious to meet with our community engagement specialists in the fall of 2019, recognizing the importance of prevention. The principal signed on for programming. Grade 3 through 5 received anti-bullying prevention, and grades 6 to 8 received classes on bullying and healthier relationships. In all, 50 students received prevention education programming, and the program well received by students, staff, and parents. And we hope to continue with this wonderful partnership. So Trinity Catholic Academy, thank you very much.
Okay, our next award is the Business Partner of the Year. And I just want to say that in all my years of doing this work, I don't think I've met two people who are more dedicated to giving back to the community than Greg and Kathy Spear. In a quiet and unassuming way, the Spears and their foundation, the Spear Family Foundation, have a deep commitment to philanthropy. The tagline on their website pretty much says it all: open heart to caring. And that is exactly what they do. They open their hearts to caring for those in need by giving from their blessings. Whether it's New Hope, the YMCA, or the many medical trials that they fund, their support has made a real difference in the lives of so many people across this Commonwealth and even across the country. New Hope is extremely fortunate for their financial support and even more fortunate for their friendship. I am so pleased to honor Kathy and Greg for their work and to thank them for all the support they've given New Hope over the years. So Greg and Kathy, I don't know if Greg is here and if he wants to say a few words.
Yes, hold on here. I'm trying. Here we go.
Okay, great, Greg.
All right, let me see here. Oh, it won't let me open up my video.
Well, we can hear you.
Okay, well, that's great. We're truly, both Kathy and I are honored to receive this award. And thank you for recognizing our foundation. We try to be involved in many different organizations. And we know specifically with New Hope that our funds assist those families that are affected by domestic violence. And we consider New Hope to be one of our investments that we make in a community. So we're very excited to work with Marcia. We've been working on hopefully our new location and a new shelter, and we're just excited to be part of it. And every year that we're involved, we listen to stories like Cindy had shared with us, and it brings you back to the reality of how many unfortunate people there are out there. So we're honored, and thank you for this award.
Thank you so much, Greg. We think the world of you and Kathy, and we just feel blessed to have your friendship and your support. So thank you.
Thank you.
And now we have the pleasure of presenting our Edith Palmer Memorial Award. So the Edith Palmer Award is named after New Hope's founder in recognition of someone who works tirelessly to create a more just and equitable community. In 2016, when New Hope began more targeted outreach into the town of Southbridge, everyone kept mentioning one person that I should meet with, Jasmine Rivas. So I met with Jasmine, and everyone was right. Jasmine not only knows the Southbridge community, but she is a tireless advocate for her community. Jasmine also became an advocate for New Hope. During her time with U Inc., Jasmine constantly promoted New Hope and developed relationships with local community partners on behalf of New Hope. Through her connections, we were able to develop partnerships with the local schools, and her support helped us to receive funding to open an office in Southbridge. Jasmine has been recognized for her work in the town of Southbridge, in the schools specifically around diversity and inclusion. I'm so pleased to present Jasmine with the Edith Palmer Award and to thank her for all she does for the Southbridge community. Jasmine, I believe you're with us.
Yes, Marcia, thank you. Oh, wow. Those were some kind words. Thank you so much. I want to thank Corey and Mallory for nominating me for this. I read a little bit about Edith Palmer, and it's humbling to be receiving this award. For those who may not know, Edith Palmer and her friends in Attleboro were trailblazers back in 1979, bringing domestic violence support services. And anyone that works in domestic violence knows how difficult back in that era It was to provide support in the scarce resources that were available to survivors. It was in that same spirit of volunteerism that Mallory and I and staff at Southbridge Public Schools developed that partnership in Southbridge in 2017 to bring after school programming to our students. We knew that these programs would provide the enrichment and skills that help our students succeed, SEL skills that are key components in preventing violence in their lives. And I know that New Hope is an incredible partner that offers this support to our families. And I know that when we work together, that our community can heal from all of this violence and this pain. So I thank everybody for this award. But it isn't just the work that I do. I have a lot of great collaborators in my community, and I thank you all for that.
Jasmine, thank you so much. I'm so thrilled that you were able to join us, and thank you for all the amazing work you've done. Before we present the last award, I understand that actually my mistake that Chris Rappold is with us. And Chris, we're happy to have you join us and wonder if you want to say a few words.
Hello, friends. Nice to see all of you. And I think probably like everyone here, I think I was touched very deeply by Cindy's courage to be able to share her story. I look at families. We have our biological family, we have our business family, and then we have our community. And even though I don't know Cindy personally and didn't have the chance to know her daughter, it's humbling to hear that, and I'm just very touched by her courage and strength to do that. The work that New Hope does is really tremendous. You really are taking care of the most vulnerable in our society. So it's humbling to me to accept a volunteer award from an organization that I have such a great level of respect for. So I want to thank all of you. All of you know that are listening on the call, that we all have a huge team behind us. So the volunteer award I accept on behalf of so many people that are involved in all of our outreach and charitable efforts. And I thank all of you for being a part of it, and it's really a recognition.
Thank you so much, Chris. We really appreciate all that Personal Best has done for us over all these years. You guys are really special to us, and so we're honored to honor you, basically. Thank you. And now we have a somewhat new award that we've want to recognize a very special person with a special award, which we're calling the President's Award in honor of the former presidents of New Hope. And this year we're giving this special award to a special legislator. Representative Betty Poirier has represented North Attleboro, parts of Attleboro, and parts of the town of Mansfield since 1999. The joke is that Betty shows up for everything. And Betty doesn't just show up, she shows up in style. And I can attest that Betty always shows up for New Hope, whether it's a fundraiser or supporting legislation that can benefit New Hope and survivors of domestic and sexual assault. Frankly, it's hard to imagine the State House without Representative Poirier, but she has earned her retirement. So Betty, on behalf of the many survivors, not just in your district, but across the Commonwealth, we thank you for all that you have done. We wish you all the best in the next phase of your journey, and we hope that you will continue to show up and be part of the New Hope family. So, Betty, are you with us?
I am Masha. Can you hear me?
Yes, you see, you've shown up again. Yeah, once again, you've shown up.
I know. Thank you for starting so early in the day, Masha. It's a wonderful way to start today, knowing that New Hope is there and to be among such a wonderful group of honorees who support everything you do and continue to help along the way. Your mission is so important. And I'm grateful every day that you are helping victims of domestic violence. It is a terrible place to be, especially if you have no one to reach out to, and you are providing that missing link. And I wish we could share this video with everyone living in our area, so they're all well aware of what you do and all the partners that you have made along the way who share your mission. I thank God for you every day and hope you continue into infinity. And thank you for recognizing me. My work has been honestly a joyful thing to be able to do. I feel so honored to have been in the position that I was in, that gave me entree to groups like yours that perhaps I wouldn't have known about. And I'm always here for you, Masha, whenever you need me.
Well, thank you,
And I
Betty.
won't go away.
Well, we know you're always here, and we really appreciate all you've given to New Hope over all these years, and even before you, Kevin, as well. So we
Thank
hold
you.
a special place in our hearts for you and Kevin, and we'll see you around for sure. This is not goodbye.
Thank you, Masha.
Thank you, Betty. Okay, I believe we are going to now go back to Lauren. So thanks to all the award recipients. You're all just wonderful folks, great partners for New Hope, and we love you all. So Lauren.
Thank you so much, Marcia, and congratulations and thank you to all of our award recipients today. You're all so wonderful. And on behalf of everyone here at New Hope, we are so grateful for you. Thank you very much for your commitment. Right now, I'd like to introduce you to one of our board members of New Hope. She is the District Director of the Office of Congressman Joe Kennedy III and a longtime supporter of New Hope. Please welcome Lisa Nelson.
Good morning. My name is Lisa Nelson. I've been a member of the Board of New Hope since 2007, but my affiliation with New Hope actually started prior to that, back in 1999. I am a newspaper reader in the morning. I like to read the newspaper, find out what's going on in my community. And in 1999, unfortunately, there was a story about a very severe case of domestic violence in Plainville, which is one of the communities nearby that we serve. And as I read the story, I realized that I knew the victim of the domestic violence situation. We had gone to high school together and junior high school together. And she was the most wonderful, jolly, happy, beautiful person. She was the kind of person that at Attleboro High School, she would don the mascot uniform and get everybody all excited at football games and basketball games. That's the kind of person that she was. We had sort of lost track with each other when we went off to college. I knew that she had gotten a degree in nursing and then a master's degree, and that she was a nurse in the ICU unit in a local hospital. So to read this story was just devastating to me. So I contacted her. And we got together and I sat down at her kitchen table and she told me the whole story. And I can so identify with Cindy's story with what happened to her daughter. Luckily, in this particular case, although it came close a couple of times, it did not result in a death. But there were also 3 children involved. And it was a very difficult, traumatic situation. She suffered domestic violence for 17 years. And when she finally left for the final time, she disabled her husband's car so that she could go to her parents' house, to her mother's house, and contacted New Hope, and New Hope stepped in to help her out. Her husband eventually went to jail. It was that severe. I think it was 11 years that he was sentenced to in jail. And since that time, with the help of New Hope and a loving community, she has gone on to remarry. Her children have grown up. They've gone to college. They're now having families of their own. And it was a step that she really needed to take. So this is a story, although it was devastating at the time, of hope. And I'm still friends with her on Facebook. And oftentimes she posts uplifting comments. And there was one that really struck me that I want to share with you today. She said, sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. Tiptoe if you must, but take the step. And now it's our turn to take the step, to help people like Cindy's daughter who didn't know that she could reach out to a domestic violence agency, like my friend who luckily did, but had suffered for 17 years in silence due to her fear. It's time for us to take the step and help New Hope going forward. Your contributions to New Hope can make such a large difference in people's lives. So on your screen right now are some reasons why you should donate to New Hope and how you can today. If you donate to New Hope, if you donate $50, it would be a trauma kit for a child or an adult. $75 would be 1 hour of supervised visitation for a family. $100 would be a prevention workshop at a local school. $250 would be a night of emergency shelter for a parent and a child. $500 would cover 4 trauma counseling sessions for a survivor. All of these contributions would make a tremendous difference in the lives of people who are victims of domestic and sexual violence. On your screen now is a slide that shows how you can support New Hope today. You can text highlights to 243725, then hit send, or you can text your name to the phone number that is listed on your screen right now, 401-447-6131, and hit send. Someone from New Hope will contact you to get your donation information. We need you. We need your help. Our survivors and our victims need your help. Please do what you can to reach out to New Hope today. On behalf of New Hope volunteers and board members, we want to show you a short video, expressing why they believe in New Hope and why they support the agency.
My name is Jeff Bradley, and I'm with Bristol County Savings Bank, and I want to tell you why we support New Hope. We believe we all have a role to play in ending domestic and sexual violence in our communities, as it truly does impact all of us. Domestic and sexual violence is a public health crisis, and the work that New Hope provides to survivors is life-saving. As a mutual community bank, Bristol County Savings Bank believes that the neighborhoods we serve are our stakeholders. This allows us to place a premium on being actively involved in the community. As we work to make our community a better place to live and work, it is our partners like New Hope who are working on the front lines day in and day out to make that a reality for so many. Keep up the great work. I know that Bristol County Savings Bank looks forward to continuing to support New Hope's efforts in creating communities free from violence and exploitation.
Hi, we are Kathy and Greg Spear of the Spear Family Foundation, and we just want to tell you why we support New Hope.
During these COVID times, the need for shelter space is even more accentuated, and during the economic shortfall that's going on, New Hope is there to support the families that are in the most need right now. So we urge everyone to be able to support New Hope in their mission. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lisa Nelson. I've been a member of the board of New Hope for over 10 years. I want to thank you for taking the time to be here this morning. It's through your support that victims of domestic and sexual violence can receive the services that they need to help them overcome the trauma that they have experienced. Thank you again.
My name is Laura Mann, and I have lived in the Milford area for over 35 years. I came to know about New Hope about 10 years ago. Someone I knew became involved and started telling me about it, and I was impressed with all that New Hope does for domestic violence and sexual assault survivors, and I became involved. And I financially support them. I was on the board for a period of time, and I urge you to get to know New Hope. They run some great programs, not only for the survivors, but also for those affected, the abusers, and also they run educational programs for the abusers, and also they have a great visitation program to safely allow the children of survivors to be able to see their other parent. So I urge you to support them. We need organizations like New Hope, and I hope you can do what you can. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Danielle Sicard, and I'm a survivor of domestic violence. 7 years ago, New Hope came into my life after my then husband attacked me in our home. I can tell you firsthand that the services New Hope provides are instrumental to victims and to survivors. New Hope provided me with multiple services, including a court advocate for multiple court appearances. They provided me with safety planning services, and they provided me and my children with counseling. I honestly do not know how I would have navigated through this court system without my advocate. Learning how to move from a victim to a survivor and my new reality was a daunting task, but New Hope services helped me do just that. They helped empower me and provide me with the tools that I needed to detox from my abusive relationship. I believe that we all play a part in ending domestic and sexual violence in our communities. Domestic and sexual violence impacts all of us. Now, more than ever, New Hope and victims need our help. I support New Hope and its missions because what they do matters. And I ask that you please join me in also supporting their efforts. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ruthie from Attleboro, Massachusetts. I've been involved on the board of directors and as a volunteer with New Hope for over 10 years now, and I've seen firsthand the critical services that they provide to domestic violence victims and survivors in our communities. Domestic violence and sexual assault are public health crises, and now more than ever, it's important that we help support organizations like New Hope to help end violence. That's why I'm asking you today to join me in supporting New Hope.
My name is Susan Mansfield. I am a board member and I work for Middlesex Savings Bank. Why I believe in New Hope's mission. This is my first year on the board of New Hope. I've been humbled by so many people's examples of sharing, caring, and making a difference in this world. At my first annual meeting, I listened to a mom who, in my opinion, had lost everything when she lost her daughter to a violent, abusive person in her life. This mom was so very brave to stand up before us all and share her greatest loss, and thankfully wanted to share to help the New Hope staff understand her grief and thank them all for everything they do for the victims and their families. I heard a staff member describe a day in her life of helping victims and being an advocate and a liaison at all hours of the day and night, working with the police department to advocate for victims and be there for them, to help them, and just talk to them in their hour of need. I attended the fundraiser at Briggs Nursery and saw how many people were excited to be there, buying lots of tickets and bringing their families and friends, all to give money to the New Hope cause. I saw the New Hope staff work tirelessly on their weekend night to make the night perfect and successful. I saw board members weary from their lifelong struggles of inequalities and injustices tell their very personal, heartbreaking stories once again to all of us that think we understand prejudice but can't really ever understand. I saw a board member in her spare time asking every family member, relative, colleague, neighbor, friend, acquaintance person who was walking by to pledge money, donate money to fund shelters for families in need of a safe place to sleep. I've seen such strength and determination every person I've been blessed to meet through the organization give of themselves to help achieve New Hope's mission. This is why I believe.
Hello, my name's Michael Carroll from Dean Bank in Franklin, Massachusetts. I want to tell you why I support New Hope and its mission. I've been involved with New Hope for more than a decade, serving both as a volunteer and a director over that time. I understand the great need for services the agency provides, helping to create communities that are free from violence. I've seen firsthand the important work that New Hope does to support survivors. I believe we all have a part to play in ending domestic and sexual violence in our communities, and I'd like to ask for your support at this time so that they may continue to do the important work that has begun. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Allison, and I want to tell you why I support New Hope and its services. I'm a current board member and a former counseling intern and employee at New Hope. I've seen firsthand the great impact that the services New Hope provides can have on the lives of the clients that they serve. Survivors deserve a welcoming environment to heal from the trauma of intimate partner violence, and New Hope provides that to them. New Hope's services are critical and essential in helping survivors heal and rebuild their lives. For more information, visit new-hope.org or call the 24/7 hotline for help at 1-800-323-4673. Thank you.
I just want to bring Marsha back on just to give her thanks to Lauren and all the speakers that have done such a wonderful job this morning. And I also want to thank all of you for supporting New Hope. It is a special organization, and as you can tell from what Cindy talked about her story and how it impacted her life, we all have been impacted in some sort of way. So I hope that, you know, difficult times, but we hope that you can support New Hope. We will also send out additional information about how you can contribute today. But I'm going to turn it over to Marsha just to give thanks to all those who participated this morning. Thank you.
So I just want to offer my thanks. And first, my apologies that the video wasn't running, but we'll get it to you guys. But I really want to thank Lauren for her emceeing today. We really appreciate your being with us, Lauren. Thank you so much. And I also want to give a big shout out to Cindy. Again, Cindy, we're so inspired by your story and by just your resiliency in what was such a difficult time for your family. You really inspire us all. And so we really offer just a huge thank you to you for joining us this morning. And also a special thank you to all of our awardees, Personal Best, Trinity Catholic, the Spear Family Foundation, Jasmine Rivas, and of course our wonderful representative, Betty Poirier. And so again, I ask that if you can spare some funds, I know it's a tough time with COVID-19, but if you're able to make a donation to New Hope, please know that these funds will support our work with survivors of sexual and domestic violence. We focused a lot today on domestic violence, but New Hope works a lot with victims of sexual violence as well, and that is also a huge public health crisis in the Commonwealth and certainly in the towns that we serve. So any funds you can afford to support our organization, we would really be amazingly grateful. And again, you can text highlights to 243-725, or you can text your name to the number 401-447-6131, and someone from New Hope will be in touch with you. So on behalf of New Hope, on behalf of all of the staff, the board, and most importantly, on behalf of all of the survivors that we work with, I thank you for taking time from your day to join us, to start your day with us, and just appreciative of anything you can give to support our work. So thank you all. Have a wonderful day. Oh, I also, before we close, I have to offer a huge thank you to Maria Barbosa, our VP of Development, and her team, Madison Babbitt and Allison Gersey, for their hard work in getting this whole program put together. This is a lot of new skills that we've had to develop in a very short time, learning how to do this virtually. So they've done just yeoman's work on this. I know they've put in countless hours, so thanks to the three of them. And thank you all again for joining us. Have a great day, and happy Thanksgiving as well. Thank you.